Hello everyone, welcome to Homework Help. If you find the video useful, please subscribe to the channel. In this video, we'll solve a polynomial inequality. As per the problem, solve the inequality by graphing the polynomial function. The inequality is 2x cubed minus x squared minus 6x greater than 0. This is a cubic polynomial because the degree is 3. The highest exponent on the variable x is 3. We have to graph this polynomial function and then use the graph to solve the inequality. In order to graph this polynomial function, we should find its x-intercept, y-intercept, and end behavior. Let's assume this cubic polynomial can be represented by function f at x. We should factor this polynomial. We can start by doing common factoring. We can factor out an x from all three terms. Next, we should factor the quadratic expression in the parentheses. This is a complex trinomial, so we can use the decomposition method to factor it. We have to find two numbers whose sum is -1, the coefficient of the x term, and product should be equal to 2 times -6, which is equal to -12. We can find the two numbers by analyzing the product number -12. We have to think of two numbers that multiply to -12. The first pair that comes to my mind is -1 and 12, but we cannot get a sum of -1 from these two numbers, so this pair is out. Another pair that comes to my mind is -2 and 6, but we cannot get a sum of -1 from these two numbers, so this pair is out. Another pair that comes to my mind is -3 and 4. -3 plus 4 is equal to 1, but we are looking for a sum of -1, so we should switch the sign on these two numbers. The numbers should be +3 and -4. Now we can use these numbers to break up the middle term, -x. I changed -x to 3x minus 4x. Now we can use the grouping method. We should pair the first two terms and the last two terms and do common factoring from each pair. From the first pair, I can factor out an x. And from the second pair, I can factor out -2. Next, we can factor out 2x plus 3 from both terms. This is the fully factored form of the cubic polynomial. Now we can use this factored form to find the x-intercepts. For x-intercepts, we should set each factor equal to 0 and solve for x. The first x-intercept is 0. We can write it as an ordered pair as 0, 0. The second x-intercept is negative 3 over 2. We can write it as an ordered pair as negative 3 over 2, 0. The third x-intercept is 2. We can write it as an ordered pair as 2, 0. All of these x-intercepts have an order or multiplicity equal to 1 because the exponents on these factors in the factored form is 1. Therefore, in the graph of this polynomial function, the graph should pass straight through these x-intercepts. There is a very important concept we need to understand to solve this type of problem. All three x-intercepts have order or multiplicity equal to 1. Next, we can find the y-intercept. For y-intercept, we should sub in x as 0 in the function equation and find the function value. I get 0 because 0 times 0 plus 3 times negative 2 will be equal to 0. We can write this y-intercept as an ordered pair as 0, 0, same as one of the x-intercepts we found. Next, we can find the end behavior for this polynomial function. The degree of this polynomial function is 3. And the leading coefficient is positive because the coefficient of the x cubed term is positive 2. Therefore, the end behavior for this polynomial function is from quadrant 3 to quadrant 1. Another way to write this end behavior is as x approaches negative infinity, y approaches negative infinity, and as x approaches positive infinity, y approaches positive infinity. Now we can use all of this information to graph the polynomial function. Let's start by plotting the intercepts. One x-intercept is at 0, the other one at negative 3 over 2, the third one at 2. The y-intercept is at the origin. The end behavior is from quadrant 3 to quadrant 1. On the left side of the x-axis, the curve goes down because as x approaches negative infinity, y approaches negative infinity. And on the right side, the curve goes in the upward direction because as x approaches positive infinity, y approaches positive infinity. Now we can join these end behaviors by sketching the graph through the intercepts. This is the graph of this polynomial function. We have to solve the inequality 2x cubed minus x squared minus 6x greater than 0. That means we have to find the x values where the graph of this polynomial function is above the x-axis. Because above the x-axis, the function value is greater than 0. We should not include the x-intercepts negative 3 over 2, 0 and 2 in our solution because at these x values, the polynomial function value is equal to 0. This is a very important concept we need to understand to solve this type of problem. As we can see in this graph, the graph is above the x-axis between -3/2 and 0 and to the right side of 2. So the solution for this inequality in inequality notation can be written as in interval notation, we can write this solution as this should be the final answer for this problem. So these are the steps you have to keep in mind to solve a problem like this one. I hope you'll find this video useful. Please share it, like it, and subscribe to Homework Help. Thank you very much and have a nice day. Bye.